All right, how's it going, everybody? Agent Zion here. Artificery League, Top 8, Season 9, Eco Mode versus Nightbringer. And Eco Mode is playing the Snoke Sienna Trader deck, which has proved its dominance, and kicking it right off with the Friends in Low Places to get rid of the Probe, which is going to be really, really good. Eco Mode also has the Rend in his opening hand, so I see no reason why he doesn't just snap fire this thing off, honestly, onto that holocron. Uh, Obviously, he would prefer to get force speed with it, but holocron is there. So a couple interesting things, as I'm just going to let these players work through their opening rounds here. With that discard side going to cause Eco Mode some serious problems. Um, Eco Mode's critical cards in this match is basically just the Rend. Everything else is really stock standard. Force illusions, of course, are going to be very helpful against um, Tarkin Snoke, and he manages to get rid of that discard side with Hidden Motive, which is pretty lucky. He's got one Mind Trick that can help stem the bleeding from all of these dice that are going to be out on the field for Tarkin Snoke. But to be in a comfortable spot to play it, first he has to actually get up a good resource base and get this Fire Spray onto the field and playable. Then he can start worrying about things. He does have a little bit of breathing room in that most of this damage coming across is going to be indirect, but it's still not ideal. To be basically put in a situation where a lot of your hopes and dreams are resting on 5 cards and just trying to get effectiveness going. Right. Snoke Tarkin, I think, is actually in a bit of a better position in this game. Yeah, he does have one Force Wave for the Holocron. He does have one Force Throw for things like Fist and Fire Spray. But he does also have an Abandon All Hope. He's got a Dark Ritual, which is going to be hard for Eco Mode to stop from happening. He's got one Deflect, which is fine. And he also has one Flames of the Past, which is going to be very helpful. So if he can smash in some damage, Flames of the Past, one item, and then put Eco Mode on the back foot, things can quickly go his way, and the damage can become overwhelming. Especially if he can Flames of the Past this Fire Spray, of which there are 2 in the deck. If you can get rid of that, that's just pretty much a waiting game to see how fast he can draw that Abandon All Hope and really lock Eco Mode out. This Rend is going to be, yep, happens there. And at this point, can't afford to really throw away that Fire Spray, I don't think. He knows he's got Flames of the Past in the deck, so he's probably just going to end up claiming after what happens here. The only one damage coming across this round, and we're going to see a lot of damage come shooting back across. He will throw away the Fire Spray to try to get some resolvable things. All right, that resource side is going to set him up pretty well, and then he might be able to. He'll probably focus over to the 2 indirect, and just at least lay down a little bit of pressure. In this position, yeah, I can agree with this line too. Is going to focus to the 2 indirect and then Snoke that for damage to try to make up some of this deficit. You're going to start your next round with 6 resources. That gives you Fist money. That gives you your other Fire Spray money. You don't really care too much about the Hover Tank, but hey. That's an interesting choice. So he didn't focus over to money to try to overcome the 3 disrupt, or the possibility of 3 disrupt. He also didn't go for damage. He went for shields. And so he starts. So Ecomode is going to start round 2. Essentially 1 damage dealt to all sides. And really, really far behind on the board. And he still has to play into. He has to search for these resources to get that fist on the board. I don't know why he's rolling out Snoke prior to Friends in Low Placing. He's just rushing to try to get the fist out, maybe? Ahead of any possible discard sides. But once he does use that Friends in Low Places, yeah, let me. Does get a little bit of benefit is that he'll be able to. He doesn't like you. Probably Snoke's resource, but he sees that abandon all hope. Knows that fist isn't coming down this round. It would take some really, really weird things to happen to let that happen, and of course, the ATST is just waiting in the wings. Even if he does get a fist down, it's going to be pretty difficult to make things happen. I'm dumb. Of course he didn't. Of course he didn't flip over to damage. He wouldn't be able to resolve the damage with the force jump last turn. It's early. I'm sorry. Provided bad commentary. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't switch to money, and I guess you're going to be just trying to space it out. Not sure the disrupt is relevant. Even 3 disrupt here, you're trading a damage for it, and he's still going to be able to play Abandon All Hope. The only thing that he isn't going to be able to do is play out the ATST, which I don't care too much about. Abandon All Hope is just as good as resolving an ATST special this round. And that 3 disrupt from Fist is just being the biggest pain in the ass I've ever seen in my entire life. He's going to force the power action disrupt. I still don't necessarily agree with. You're losing very, very slowly here, Ecomode. And you are going to lose very, very slowly on this game plan. But you are still going to lose. If you had swapped over to resources, you might be able to find a way to fight back in the future. And a little bit better sequencing, maybe just a little bit better. You may have been able to get the Inferno Droid out to snag the ATSC out of hand, or the Abandon All Hope out of hand, depending on how you're feeling. One of these dice, probably Sienna's, is going to turn into this. He doesn't like you on something. Probably the fist. I had to guess. Doesn't know he doesn't like you, but Ecomode is representing Deflect, who I would think that he's going to focus over to an indirect side. Oh, he's calling the bluff. Also trying to blank out that 1 damage. I mean, I guess it's value. Why not? At this point, he doesn't. I think he doesn't like you on the. On the side, maybe. I don't know. It's a hard call. He will be able to avoid the abandon all hope, and then get up to his 5 resources. Get the fist out, but with no focus remaining and um, no focus remaining, no money to follow up on paid sides. This fist could be very, very, very stranded. I think just pulling that. And then going to the next round with fist in hand, I think that might be better. Get 1 reroll. You're gonna lose a lot of value if you mess with this. Could have claimed. Yeah, there's a sequencing mismatch there, but I guess it's gonna be immaterial because or is Secret Droid a May? Secret Droid's a May. All right, I don't have to intervene. There goes that Flames of the Past. Ooh, that was a big blow. Big blow. And that is very luckily resolvable. And it looks like Ecomode is back in the game, even though he doesn't get to resolve it for the 3rd time. He's in a much better feeling position here with the fist on board. I think changing Vader's fist over to, I think focusing the Vader's fist over to resources would have probably been the better idea. Now you're in a race position as Tarkin Snoke. And Beguile, Hidden Motive, and Force Illusion is going to buy Ecomode a very good round this round. Especially just going up against at odds, overconfidence, and doubt. I don't think he's too unhappy with it, with his board state as it lies. He still has plenty of places to put indirect damage, which is, I guess, a function of swapping that Rebel Trader over to the shield earlier. Also see somewhat unwisely from my position is Nightbringer just walking into Mind Trick. He knows it's a 1-of. He's got 2 money up. He's got a fist on the board already. Just letting him Mind Trick him there would have been really, really bad. I see no reason not to Snoke Sienna for resources here. Getting the fire spray down turns all those other mods, of which we've only seen 1, online. But I suppose he does also have to work his way around the 6 resources aspect. that ATST hits the board, it is going to be a big problem. Now we see realistically the only removal going to be played for Snoke Tarkin this round is going to be that overconfidence. And with the Rebel Trader sitting on Disrupt, which I actually kind of like, letting that happen. Going to make it impossible for the ATST to come out. I think here you probably just re-roll that blank Snoke, remove Tarkin. That's what I would do. That force jump is pretty immaterial from my perspective, but re-rolling Tarkin over to discard or resource back again kind of locks you into keeping the Rebel Trader where he lies. You save 3 damage. Resolve, disrupt here. I don't think you do. I think you just take the damage, honestly. I think you take the damage. I think you probably focus Rebel Trader over to money so you can get your force loot or your chance cube out. And this forces a reroll from Tarkin Snoke or a Theed power action for sequencing issues. There's not much you can do about this. This is going to be 3 damage fired right into Tarkin. And we're starting to see Nightbringer's hand get clogged up. That ATST, just it still being in hand is a huge benefit for him. It forces Ecomode to react in certain ways. He also doesn't want to get rid of that 1 copy of Dark Ritual. Unlikely that he's going to get rid of Overconfidence. Unless he really needs to reroll this Vader's Fist. But I think he's probably happy just resolving that. I think that was pretty greedy. Pretty greedy, but he can get 1 shield and 3 more damage. We're looking at a dead Sienna here. But a severely wounded target. Go ahead and play that Force Illusion, not even a problem. Get up. Not the worst Force Illusion I've ever seen. The only card he's really concerned about there is flank. And he wisely takes Feed rather than resolving that resource. Works out the same, but you get battlefield. I think dumping Slave 1 is correct here, yep. But he does kind of have to keep the chance cube. A Force Wave finally come up in hand, and then also a Holocron with no Ren to answer. Problem is trying to play that Force Wave really is going to impact his ability to beguile anything. If he doesn't play pretty safe, at least early, and not just automatically throw down the force wave and damn the consequences. Could find himself getting blown out by this fire spray dorsal combo. I think playing the chance cube is a wise idea. Don't have to make a decision to roll it out. And you want to get ahead of discards. Ecomode playing very, very safe. But we're going to see this focus happen and do a removal test. And the removal test is going to come up empty. I know, he almost has free reign. I would have put all 4 of that in Sienna. Put her at 8 health, and then force him to use an entire fist die on her to kill her if he wants to. Because now that fist die could just kill Rebel Trader. And Sienna's better, I guess, to keep up, but still not great. And we got to see this fire spray come down right now. Get out from under those repeated disrupts. And here's the removal test. Removal test is found wanting. I don't see. I think that's kind of weird. Now he gets the information of what Ecomode wants to do. Ah, that's ambiguous. All right. But he's going to get 4 indirect. It's going to go all the way into. What is Snoke? I guess he's operating on the same assumption. Like you have to use an entire die to do something, you got to do it. Here comes the force wave. I don't think he's sad resolving force wave for indirect here. And you could try for a reroll off of force throw, I guess, but I don't know. Not on board with the plan. This is pretty close. Pretty close. So 11 health remaining for Ecomode. He's about to get 7 of it chunked away. So 4 damage remaining total. Going into the last round. The force wave on board. Really searching. He found it. He found it. So that's an extra 4. That's lethal on board, right? He does this correctly. Nope, it's one short of lethal. but still absolutely devastating. Oh no, that is lethal. That is lethal. I miscounted. All right, yeah. I mean, you have to power action fist here and get a shield. One out. Oh, lucky shield. Now the search for focus begins. I don't think you can afford to resolve that. You need at least some direct damage. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't just throw all three of those cards away to reroll Vader's Fist. 33% per shot. Get there. Gotta throw away this hover tank. But that is game one. Ooh. It's actually really hard to commentate Snoke games because there's just so many things you can focus to. There's so many different lines of play. But we'll take it on over to game two real quick. Let me give them a time update. Ecomode will have his choice of battlefield. Unsurprisingly, both feed. Probably keep that Ren. Don't see any reason why I wouldn't. I would also keep that ID10 droid, to be honest. It's not something I don't think you can afford to give that up, especially if you're not keeping any extra dice. I don't think you can keep that. He doesn't like you. Like that ID10 and that he doesn't like you are kind of connected. You can't keep one without the other. On the other side of the table, we're seeing all the removal get dropped. But for at odds, I guess takes care of Sienna, takes care of Rebel Trader. Pause the income generation. We'll also get us 2 shields, and that 4 speed is not long for this world. It's going to get rended. And we see an unplayable hand, basically, from Ecomode. It's a very unfortunate draw. This is a kind of hand where you just don't even care if Arkin rolls discard. Probably just Snoke Power action. You're hell of it. The distressing place to be with a hand. But if you're looking at this hand, if you look at this hand, you look at these dice, I think you just take 7 indirect. I think you just call that a plus. You definitely play this Feel Your Anger. Definitely take care of those focus sides. Or actually, you take care of one focus side, one blank. Just get Tarkin's dice off the field. Yep. Probably see maybe a focus to blank. Yep. And then that's going to get rended. And the terrible, terrible hand gets recovered. So a very, very good round for Ecomode. But he will lose the other rend. So we're going to see a couple things happen. We're going to see Eco mode walk into the start of next round with 4 money, but maybe nothing to play it on. And I really disagree with that plan right there. I mean, it worked out for him because that's what he was looking for, was the resource to try to build up towards this ATST. Holy crap, this is... He could have just gotten the same thing. I don't know why he threw away a force throw that he could have actually just played naturally. And I think the correct move here is to ditch the dorsal but keep the triple laser turrets and draw into Slave 1 or Fire Spray ideally. It's neither. Very defensive. Very defensive hand for Eco Mode. Very defensive hand for Nightbringer. This round is both going to be very, very boring from a viewership standpoint, but very interesting to see how both these players navigate a situation where they think they could be not making any progress. We definitely see a flank come out on the discard. Yep. Probably get to see Snoke rolled out. And the mode has the option either to beguile or doubt anything it doesn't like the looks of. And still have Force Illusion money. This is the weirdest overconfidence I've seen in a minute. I guess that worked? Or however you value that? You're still going to have to focus that Tarkin die over to resource. And you've already, yeah, now you have to be super lucky with those Snoke dice. Try to get your ATSD out. And I have to say, I really disagree with the way this round is going for Nightbringer. I don't know what exactly he's doing. I'll just see Force Illusion come out on Sienna. And then Ecomode just claims, right? That's a pass. No reason to pass. Just play the Force Illusion and then take your 4 damage, and then you get to claim. You get to claim. Oh God, what is this? You were searching for value that never came, and now this Force Illusion is blocking up your hand. Oh. Alright. It's okay. In theory, I'm not supposed to root for anybody, but Ecomode is one of my local players, so biased. Blame me for the bias. And then the pressure for Nightbringer just keeps rising. Because he's got now a free die and a 1-cost die, but it's going to be without any sort of removal backup. Unless he can find a resource on his dice. I would definitely get rid of the doubt. The doubt is not going to save you very much. But you're kind of locked into keeping the Force Illusion and Beguile here, I think. Certainly wouldn't have thrown away the triple laser turret. Because at this point, even a hover tank, he gets 2 of them. Walking is going to see there's nothing for him to get. Pretty unfortunate. And the dice are going to start piling up. If there's a discard side rolled, on money side, yep. Oh, that is just the worst. Okay, so Ecomode will be able to play the hover tank at least. And doubt sequencing. If we see force jump get discarded to re-roll, very possible we see an ATST come out this round. However, that disrupt side on the Rebel Trader is so nice. Oh, so nice. We can see that 2 focus turn into 3 money, and then another focus for 4 indirect. Or I guess he could change the arc inside. I really don't think going money was correct there, because that's 3 disrupt. It's going to be pretty harmful. Go ahead. That was not a power action. Not at all the force illusion you want to see. Oh man. Now he's got to disrupt 3. Sure. That does give him ATST money on the start of the round. This disrupt happens to pop up from Sienna. And if we see this hover tank reset, could see another disrupt side there. Well, I'm not sure if you would spend the 2 resources to reset the tank. Probably more worthwhile just to go into the next round with more money. $14 health remaining for Nightbringer. 19 remaining for Ecomode, and no money. Perfect timing, too, with the mind trick in hand. And this disrupt side must be weighted. These dice are fixed, I swear. Anger is usually a card that you're not terribly unhappy to see at any given point, but not with this low amount of dice. He's only got 1 additional die from the start of the game. And Anger's online. Anger is very, very online here. Weird how this works out. Smart play. Playing around Beguile. I like it. Also plays around Flames of the Past. Probably concerned with. And what do you do? I think what you might do here is focus to 2 discard and then 2 indirect off of the Snoke 2 damage. That lets you kind of do an anger play and then follow up with a Tarkin power action. Only 13 cards left in hand. Discarding 4 is a big blow. Especially since you know you haven't seen a fist yet. You're searching. You want them. We'll come up with more damage this way, but things could easily turn against him. Wants to see a reroll. If he can anger the hover tank die, that's probably GG. If you can't anger the hover tank die, there's still room for Ecomode to maneuver. But if he passes here, he gives up the game plan. And we're going to stop seeing rerolls. But I still think pass is the right move. If you pass and you lock him into just pulling money down. See things turn very much on their heads here. Oh, don't do it before playing the slave one, Woody. Oh, I know you want to resolve the special side on the hover tank, but no. All right. Very lucky that worked out. You're gonna see 4 on each, I guess. You can focus, reset, focus. Yeah, that's 8 damage, right? Can't complain about that. Puts things in a very fightable position. Also a pretty inefficient force illusion at this point. I guess you can't get the second special, but you can put a hurt on Snoke. You can put Snoke up to 11 or up to 9. I don't know if the indirect was the way to go there. I think you want applied damage. But it all depends on that counts. Just second guessing everybody. But reality is, this is a weird game with how these hands have been drawing and how things have been going. So ideal world, Ideal world is being able to get the fire spray and then the Artcaster out. The ideal world probably won't happen. And anger online right off the rip. I think you probably roll out the Rebel Trader. Get your automatic flank on your next action with better knowledge and information. I am recording live. All right. There we go. Okay. That's resolved. We're going to see the Rebel Trader come out. And then something's going to get he doesn't like you'd. Probably that focus. But you also don't want to give up. I mean, you can't snoke it. You can't snoke that damage. Now this fist is going to cause fits. Fist fits. You absolutely need to he doesn't like you that focus. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Ecomode. Please, dear God. Even focusing over the indirect is really going to suck. Now Santa's going to have to take 2. Snoke's going to have to take 2. And that fist die is live as hell on 2 more rolls. Well, 2 more resolutions with 4 rerolls in the bank. You can ditch that Rebel Trader die. I don't see any other way. Um, that was really weird. I'm trying to think of why I could have done that. So very, very strange. But you have to keep one of those dice on disrupt because it's going to feed power action to force you. Yeah, I'm not seeing any plausible way for Ecomode to back from that. And now you just doubt Sienna, right? I think. I think you just doubt the Sienna die. Then he has to burn a focus. That was really weird. And that's resolvable as well. Focus that over to the special, force the resolution, and then focus it back over to damage, I guess. Sure, that works. But I'll tell you what, that doesn't work if you doubt the Sienna die that's showing the only disrupt. We're going to see this fist roll out. He's got 3 rerolls to find any damage. Any resolvable damage side. And there it is. Got there. And that is game 2. Last game. Nightbringer. Moving on to the top 4. Certainly speaks to Tarkin Snoke's effectiveness. That last game was so weird, so unusual from both perspectives, how that played out. I do like the Rens. I really, really do. I think right now, Snoke is so ubiquitous, people aren't making very many mistakes. The exposure level is insane. I think that's going to continue over into new standard. The exposure level is just so incredibly high. That's not to say that the Snoke decks are going to be bad or anything. Their power level is just through the charts and as to what they can do, but they are not surprising in the slightest. So if you can tech very, very hard for it without sacrificing much in any of your other matchups, I think that's a very, very good way to go. I think that's where Tarkin Snoke kind of ended up at the end of this meta that truthfully no longer matters, but it's interesting to be able to see that happen. Things like one abandon all hope, things like one ATST, things like force wave, just being able to get slotted into things and really make that difference. I agree with. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I will be posting another video later this evening for the Eric Wainwright versus Redentor match. So that should be a pretty good time. Catch you all later.